We're going to look at installing and programming a Hycontrol VF04 TDR level measurement transmitter on a standard silo. TDR can measure liquids or solids. In this instance we'll be programming for a solid product. VF04 TDR can be supplied with probe lengths of up to 24 meters, which can be cut shorter to adjust the measurement range. This will then need to be entered during the programming stage. Firstly, we need to note key information about the silo. We need to know where the silo is filled from. This will be via a fill pipe to the top part of the vessel. We also need to know where the draw-off point is. The level transmitter must be mounted away from the fill pipe to avoid false readings. The recommended position is about 1/2 to 1/3 radius. While liquids will obviously always set in a flat surface, different solid products form cones of varying steepness. This is called the angle of repose and must be taken into consideration when positioning the device. Fine powdery products like ash will generally give a steep slope. Better flowing granular products like sand will have a shallower shape. Some products like plastics will have very little resistance and flow very well. A product like cement can be expected to have a medium to steep angle. Once the length of the TDR has been set and the probe is in position, we need to think about the parameters that will be input into the device and the output that it will provide. The device gives a 4 to 20 mA output signal, which will usually go into a digital display at the base of the vessel or into a PLC to be shown elsewhere. Setting the range covered by this 4 to 20 mA signal is key to an accurate reading. In this example, we'll use a standard silo with a total measurement height of 9 meters. The output we will program in 4 mA at 0% and 20 mA at 100% full at 8.5 meters to allow safe headroom. When the signal goes to the display unit, it can be converted to the required information, for example tonnage or any volume measurement. The programming of a Hycontrol digital display is covered in a separate video. Before programming the unit, take a moment to familiarise yourself with the display keypad push buttons. To program the device we have 4 buttons: enter, back and return button, and the up and down arrows. Please note that the button functions are printed above the LCD to assist you when navigating through the menus and programming the device. Firstly, remove the weather cover to access the HMI. So if we press the enter button, it will take us into the menu and we have basic setup, output setup and application. So first of all, we want to look at the basic setup. So we press the enter key and we have there our tank height. First of all, we'll change that. So tank height, press enter. And our tank height at the moment is 12 meters. That's the value for the probe length that's currently entered. So we've cut the probe down to 9 meters, so we need to change the tank height to 9 meters also. So if we press the back arrow, then we can move the digit across all the way to digit 2. And we use the up arrow to increase this value now to 9. The return arrow to move to the 1 and press the down arrow to make this a 0. To enter this, press the enter key. Now we can look at the dead zone. Press the down arrow once, press the enter key to look at the value. 400 millimeters of dead zone is the default setting and generally doesn't need changing unless there is quite a tall standpipe. We will accept this value, press enter to accept. Press the down arrow again to look at the close end blocking. Press the enter button. This parameter is similar to the dead zone, but this does eliminate any reflections that may be in the close end area. Often we increase this to mask out any unwanted reflections. We can leave this at 100 millimeters at the moment for our simple application. So press the enter key to accept and press the down arrow to look at our damping time. Press the enter key to go into this menu. And the damping default setting is 5 seconds, so an average of readings over 5 seconds. We can increase this with the up arrow. For instance, we can go up to, let's say, 9 seconds. Press enter to accept, and this will increase our damping and smooth out the output. Press the down arrow now. Press the enter key to view the probe length. Okay, again our probe length is set at 12 meters, the same as our tank height was. If we press the return or left arrow key, we can adjust the 12 to be 9 meters. Now our probe length is correct. Press enter to accept this value. Okay, so I've set our basic setup parameters. Press the back key to go to our main menu, and now we need to set up the output. So press the down arrow once to go to the output setup. Press enter to view these parameters. The current output mode is the first one, so press enter to view this. And at the moment the current output is for distance. We want to change this to be level, so press the up arrow once. Press enter to accept this. Press the down arrow to look at the current output minimum. Press enter. And as a default, 0 millimeters, the bottom of the silo. This is fine. Press enter to accept this. And the down arrow to look at the current output max. Enter to view. And the current output max now has been set at 9 meters because we changed the probe length and the tank height. So we would actually want to set the maximum at 400 or 500 millimeters down from the top. So we need to change this to 8.5. Our milliamp output is now set, so enter to accept this. We need to look now at our failure current, our failsafe, so press down arrow once, press enter to view the parameter. So we have two options here. We have hold the last value or 22 milliamps high current output. The default is hold, and in most applications hold will be fine. Press enter to accept. Now we just need to look at the error delay. Press the down arrow and press enter. So we have a selection here of times that we can choose for the error signal to appear after not being able to measure. So this is between no time at all and 5 minutes, so this can be selected if you are requiring a delay in the failsafe condition. We've got hold as our selected failsafe, so the error delay doesn't play a factor. So press enter. If we press the left arrow return key, we can then see our only other option is application. So if we press the down arrow, press the enter key, application type, press the enter key to view this parameter. Two options here, one product, one level, and two products, one level. If you have liquids in a tank where the materials can separate because of densities, then we sometimes select two products, one level. Oil water is a good example. For a solids application, one product, one level is absolutely fine. This is the default setting. Press enter to accept. If we use the back arrow, we can jump back through the menus, and we return then to a measurement of level on the display. So we've switched now to 8.6 meters of level. So the device is set up now with a 9 meter tank height and a 4 to 20 milliamps over 0 to 8.5 milliamps. So the output here would be 20 milliamps.